Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick outside our wet weather window on this Monday. And boy, wet is an understatement. It has just been coming down all afternoon. Actually started late this morning, light rain, and then it became a lot heavier around the noon hour. And this is a look from this afternoon down at the Wenatchee Valley from our cross camera up on Wenatchee Heights, and you can see the low-hanging clouds and all of the moisture. And we have seen a ton of moisture here in the Wenatchee area since Friday. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on. But let's look ahead now to the week ahead. Notice the top part of that graphic. That is our temperature in red, and we will stay just above normal throughout this week, and it's going to be a wet one once again tomorrow, on Wednesday, again on Thursday. I think Friday we here in north central Washington will see a little bit of a break before things kind of settle down by the time we get into the weekend, and we'll have much more weather for you coming up a little bit later on in the newscast. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. 3 passengers were hospitalized and the driver charged with DUI early Sunday when a vehicle crashed and rolled onto its top in South Wenatchee. The State Patrol says an off-duty Grant County Fire District firefighter risked his life to rescue a man from a burning car Sunday afternoon along Lake Lenoir near Soap Lake. A snowstorm on Blewett Pass Saturday night led to 17 vehicle crashes between 5 p.m. and midnight. And Highway 97A south of Entiat was blocked for about an hour late Saturday afternoon after a car caught on fire. But first we begin tonight. A 17-year-old girl is dead and a Bridgeport man is jailed today after a weekend vehicle crash. Douglas County Sheriff's deputies say 35-year-old Christopher Joe Williams crashed a 2011 Honda Accord just after 6 p.m. Saturday. It all happened in the 300 block of 17th Street, killing the teenage occupant. She was identified as Tessa L. Johnson of Bridgeport. Deputies say she was pronounced dead at Three Rivers Hospital in nearby Brewster. Williams remains held in the Okanagan County Jail. He faces likely charges of vehicular homicide and DUI. Meanwhile, 3 passengers were hospitalized and the driver charged with DUI early Sunday when a vehicle crashed and rolled onto its top in South Wenatchee. Wenatchee Police Department Sergeant Nathan Hahn said Monday he doesn't have information on the extent of the injuries, but 3 of the 4 passengers in the car were able to get out of the vehicle on their own, while firefighters had to use extrication equipment to get the 4th passenger out. Charged with drunken driving was 22-year-old Rangel Santillan Cruz. The accident happened about 1:30 a.m. Sunday in the 500 block of South Chelan Avenue near its merger with Mission Street. State Patrol says an off-duty Grant County Fire District 6 firefighter risked his life to rescue a man from a burning car Sunday afternoon along Lake Lenoir near Soap Lake. Trooper John Bryant said in addition to being on fire, the upside-down car was on the edge of a cliff when volunteer firefighter Danielle Bergen used a rock to break the driver's side window and pull the man to safety. The State Patrol said Eliseo Martinez was pulling a trailer with a boat on it just before 3 Sunday afternoon when his vehicle left the roadway and rolled. The trailer detached and went down a steep ravine while the boat and car stopped just short of plunging down that hillside. Martinez was transported to Columbia Basin Hospital and was cited for vehicles off the roadway and not having vehicle insurance. Well, a snowstorm on Blewett Pass Saturday night led to 17 vehicle crashes between 5 p.m. and midnight. Trooper John Bryant of the Washington State Patrol said the majority of the wrecks were from the Big Y to the summit of that pass, with one involving drugs and alcohol. None of the accidents resulted in serious injuries. Bryant said a State Patrol trooper responding to one of the wrecks south of the summit nearly had his vehicle hit as one accident was taking place in front of him and 2 accidents were going on behind the trooper. Bryant said the wrecks were a combination of people driving too fast for conditions and heavy weekend traffic involving drivers unfamiliar with driving on the snowy passes. Highway 97A south of Entiat was blocked for about an hour late Saturday afternoon after a car there caught on fire. Washington State Patrol Trooper John Bryant said the vehicle was a total loss, but the driver, luckily, was not injured. He said the driver noticed the smoke coming from the vehicle and was able to pull over to the shoulder. The highway was closed just before 5 p.m. Bryant said traffic was stopped because of visibility concerns from the smoke and ammunition in the vehicle that was exploding. Well, coming up next, a Wenatchee landscaping service was fined $3,500 this fall for illegal burning in Douglas County. The Colville Tribal Council has suspended one of its members, and Chelan County has released its draft strategy on climate change. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
Welcome back. In another news, a Wenatchee landscaping service was fined $3,500 this fall for illegal burning in Douglas County. The State Department of Ecology says Young Bucks Landscaping set fire to a heap of gathered brush just outside East Wenatchee last year. Ecology assessed the $3,500 fine back in September. The violation followed similar infractions committed by that company since 2016. The Colville Tribal Council has suspended one of its members. Virgil Smoker Marchand, who joined the council in July, allegedly put up a Facebook post that same month disclosing a tribal member's COVID-19 diagnosis. That information had been shared confidentially with council members, and disclosing it was a violation of the council's Code of Professional Responsibility. The tribal board voted 8-5 on November 5th to suspend Marchand for 60 days. In other news, Chelan County wants to fortify itself against climate change, and today it released a draft for its plan to do so. The Chelan County Climate Resiliency Strategy warns that average local temperatures could increase by almost 6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's over the next 30 years, with more winter rainfall and less mountain snowpack. Responses including added water storage, increased preparation for wildfires and floods, and sustainable farming practices are all on the table. Agency partnerships and community workshops have all contributed to that planning process. More public planning workshops are scheduled for December 2nd and 3rd. The Chelan County Natural Resources Department plans to issue an agenda for those meetings. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Mates of Wenatchee believes a clean home is a happy home. Mary Mates provides holiday cleaning services to cheer about. Don't let the seasonal cleaning ruin the festive fun. Mary Mates can simplify your life at a great value. It's never too soon to start planning a holiday-perfect home. Mary Mates of Wenatchee happily offers a worry-free guarantee. Locally owned and operated, let Mary Mates do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Call Mary Mates today.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kerry Condata. This is the 12th District TV show, aired 8 times every week on NCWLIFE TV. We cover business and politics like no one else does it because I've been there and done it. 30 years self-employed, 16 years in the House of Representatives, and 12 years running campaigns across the state of Washington. That resume means you're getting information you can't get anywhere else. This is the 12th District. I'm Kerry Condata.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Well, facing more than 1,000 new COVID-19 diagnoses per day and a 400% increases in hospitalizations for the disease, Governor Jay Inslee announced new executive orders yesterday that will prohibit public and social gatherings, including extended family feasts like Thanksgiving, through at least December 14th. The orders forbid indoor social gatherings with people from outside one's household unless they meet rigid restrictions. They also close indoor service at all restaurants and bars, gyms and fitness centers, bowling alleys, movie theaters and museums, and also limits the number of people who can gather for religious services. In tonight's feature story, in a press conference yesterday, Inslee said it's the only sure way to make sure health systems aren't overloaded by the pandemic.
Keeping our hospital system working has been a top concern for us. If the exponential growth of COVID-19 continues unmitigated, anyone who is afflicted with even kind of a need for routine treatment may not be able to get it because the hospitals will be full of people with COVID. So those today, if you were sure you're never going to get COVID, but you might be concerned needing a new hip or a knee or a cardiac operation or cancer, you're at risk if we do not get on top of the COVID pandemic, because we would have to avoid doing some of those other procedures. We are today in a more dangerous position than we were in March when our first stay-at-home order was issued. We are in a more dangerous position due to a combination of the extent of this virus, which is now throughout the state and the nation, and because of the situation we are heading into the winter months. In March, we were heading into the summer months, and we were largely successful relative to other states because of a combination that we acted early, we did not wait. And the one thing about this virus that every epidemiologist and virologist have told us is early action can save the day. We acted early. We also had the benefit we were heading to summer where people could be outside more. But now we're heading inside, and we're heading into the virus's home arena. This is where the virus gets us, inside, where we're heading during the winter.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. And before we get to those details, outside we go once again. And this was a look from this afternoon in the Wenatchee Valley. You can barely see it with all these low-hanging clouds. This is looking down from our Wenatchee Heights Sky-Fi Tower camera. We call it the cross camera. And boy, it was a wet one out there today. And it was wet all the way back to Friday. We'll show you those totals in a second. But unofficially, high temperature day. Didn't get very warm with all that cloud cover. 38, and that was a while ago today. 43 is where we should be now for our normal high temperature. 35 is where we started, so boy, we didn't warm up much throughout the day. 31 is our normal low temperature. 56, record high back in 2010, and our record low a few years later at 17 degrees. All right, here we go. Friday and Saturday, we picked up a total of 78/100ths of an inch of rain. Friday alone, we picked up almost a ½ an inch, and that's a one-day record for Friday with that ½ inch. Today so far, and that's until about 2:30 or 3 o'clock, about 0.2 of an inch today. So boy, we have seen some really nice rain, and that gets us to just under 5 inches now for the year. We're still a little less than an inch behind where we should be, but boy, we're catching up quickly here at the end of the year. Sunrise this morning, 7:08, and the sun did set this afternoon, I should say, at 4:23. Let's take a look now at what we can expect for our Tuesday, and it's not going to be anything like today as far as a rain that just sets in and soaks us all day. It's going to be mostly cloudy. Temperatures will be warmer. A warm front will actually move through tonight. Lower 50s in Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. Right at the 50 mark for Wenatchee and Entiat. 49 in Leavenworth and 50 in Chelan. Warm, and then a 30% chance of rain, and that will be in our afternoon hours. We'll show you that as we go to our surface loop, beginning with tonight. And tonight it will be just mild out there for overnight lows. We are going to see mostly cloudy skies. It will be dry as this system, this area of low pressure, pulls up to the north and it'll drag that moisture up with it. So that should clear us out a little bit tonight. And as I said, a warm front will also move through, and that'll bring us some nice mild temperatures as we get into Tuesday, almost approaching 50 degrees. There is that 30% chance of rain, and there it is right here. I'll tell you, Western Washington is going to stay wet all this week. And the question for us is how far east that will move. For Tuesday, same kind of scenario. Mostly cloudy skies, as I mentioned, with a 30% chance of rain. And the same goes for Wednesday. We will see temperatures remaining above normal, but we're getting into a more zonal flow. That's west to east, and that's going to keep us very unstable as we get into the middle part of the week. And yes, even on Thursday with mostly cloudy skies then, a 30% chance of rain. It still will be mild with temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 40s on Thursday before we begin to cool down as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. Partly cloudy on Friday, dry, and it will be slightly cooler. Here's our next storm system as it begins to churn its way just to our northwest. For Friday, as we mentioned, just cooler temperatures. Will be about normal for Saturday, and as I just showed you, that's about 43 degrees as we kick off our weekend. Increasing clouds. Here's our next frontal boundary as it gets a little bit closer to us. Not so much Saturday, but as we get into Sunday, mostly cloudy skies throughout the Pacific Northwest. We will see more of a northerly zonal flow, and that means cooler air will be coming our way on Sunday. And there's that next round of moisture, bringing us just a slight chance for an isolated shower late in the evening. But then it looks like past that into early next week, a lot of that moisture will disintegrate, and it doesn't look like we're going to see a lot. So a wet week ahead, and then a little bit drier as we get into the upcoming weekend. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight, 40 degrees for overnight low. Boy, we didn't get even close to 44, so that's probably going to be a little bit lower overnight tonight. 50 tomorrow with a 30% chance of rain. 49 Wednesday. Once again, a decent shot at some rain. Same goes for Thursday, a little bit cooler at 47, and then we'll begin to slowly cool down for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with just a chance for showers on Sunday, but the high temperature then back to normal right around 43 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. Well, another Sunday, another lackluster performance for the Seahawks, falling to the Rams in LA yesterday, 23-17. For the second week in a row, Russell Wilson was a large part of why Seattle struggled, committing 2 interceptions and a fumble, finishing with a quarterback rating of just 57. Seahawks scored on its first possession of the game, but was held to 3 field goals the rest of the way. Wilson has accounted for 7 turnovers in the last 2 games, both losses for Seattle. Coach Pete Carroll was asked if he's concerned about that trend.
I'm just concerned in general. We can't play football and win games like that. Can't win, and philosophically, that's so far against the grain for what we believe and how we practice and prepare for the last 10 years, 20 years, that it couldn't rub against the grain anymore, obviously. We can't. Yeah, I'm worried about the fact that it's so loose in this game, in last game. With the 1 or 2 sometimes, but 7, that's too many. And we got to get our act together. We just got to get better. We can't do that. We won't beat anybody turning the ball over like that.
Wilson finished 22 for 37 for 248 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He admitted the first pick was a bad mistake and that he just needs to be better.
Well, obviously, the first decision was just a bad decision. I should have just took off and just ran it. I was approaching the line, and I saw Disley sneak out early. I stepped up, slid, and I thought I still had him. And so, it's just a bad decision. That's all that was. And you got to move on. You still got a lot of game left. The second pick, the guy made a great play. I think that the reality is I know who I am. I know that I'm a great football player. I know I've been great. I know I will be great. I know I'll continue to be great. I know that there are better days ahead.
Well, we hope so, Russell. The Rams rolled up over 400 yards of offense, 257 of which in the first half. Jamal Adams, who played the game with a shoulder injury, says the defense has to continue improving.
I do have an injury, but that's not really, what's killing me right now. What's killing me, obviously is the loss. I thought the defense, at times we made big stops and we got off the field, and I thought that was important. We just got to continue to get better. It's still the little details that we got to, get better as a group and continue to, see certain formations, continue to study the film and knowing what they're going to do to us and how they're going to attack us. We just got to execute a little bit better.
Seattle has a quick turnaround this week. They're scheduled to host Arizona at CenturyLink Field on Thursday Night Football, 5:20 kickoff on Fox. Sunday's loss for Seattle also resulted in losing control of the NFC West. As we check the Les Schwab scoreboard, Kyler Murray's Hail Mary with 2 seconds remaining found DeAndre Hopkins in the end zone from 43 yards out. Arizona beat Buffalo 32-30 in one of the wild ones in the West. In the desert, San Francisco knocked out Drew Brees, who now is reportedly with a collapsed lung and 3-4 broken ribs. But still the Saints were able to beat the Niners 27-13 in New Orleans. The wins by the Rams and Cardinals created a three-way tie atop the NFC West with three teams at 6-3. Now, because Arizona's 2-0 in the conference play, they have the lead. LA is second. Seattle is third. Well, the Washington Huskies finally got to play some football Saturday night and held on to beat Oregon State 27-21. Dylan Morris got the start at quarterback and played well enough in his debut on a windy and rainy night at Husky Stadium. Sean McGrew and Kamari Pleasant did the job on the ground, combining for 150 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Coach Jimmy Lake waited until Saturday to announce Morris as his starter and said he was happy with the freshman's performance.
Dylan just does a really good job of not making mistakes. You saw that tonight. Didn't make a lot of mistakes. Didn't turn the ball over. Got us in out of plays. The ball handling was good in the run game. Completed some passes when you need to. We moved the chains. It was awesome to watch. And he just got a really good demeanor and a good leadership qualities. And so he's got a long way to go, just like a lot of our guys do. But I'm definitely proud of him for his first college football game. Think about that. That was his first college football game in grimy, rainy weather, and we grinded it out. And we got Dylan for his first start. He's got to win. He's 1-0.
Huskies are scheduled to host Arizona this Saturday at 5 o'clock at Husky Stadium. Game will be broadcast on Fox. Washington State forced 3 Oregon turnovers in the first half, led 19-14 at the break, but the Ducks outscored the Cougars 29-10 in the second half for a 43-29 victory. Tyler Shook led the 11th-ranked Ducks with 312 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. C.J. Verdell also contributed 118 yards on the ground and a score. WSU coach Nick Rolovich said he felt they should have won that football game.
Well, you got to give Oregon credit, but also the realization we had our opportunities to put that game further out of hand or further out of reach in the first half. We got to shoot for touchdowns instead of field goals. I love Blake Mazza, I do, but especially with 3 turnovers in the first half, we got to turn those into touchdowns. And I appreciate them playing hard and sticking together. But at the end of the day, we got to make plays. We got to execute better. We got to coach better. And I think that was about the gist of it.
Jaden DeLora was 25 for 39 for 321 yards and a couple of touchdowns for Washington State. Cougars are scheduled to travel to Stanford this Saturday for an 8 p.m. kickoff on FS1. You notice with the Seahawks, with the Huskies, with the Cougars, I all said scheduled. We'll see what COVID has in store for us, not only in the world, but in the world of sports. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And as we leave you tonight, Eastmont Parks and Recreation said last week it's officially completed its new futsal field at Eastmont Community Park. The project, fueled by local donations and a grant from the U.S. Soccer Foundation, is a multi-purpose athletic field that's been in the works since 2018. Futsal is essentially soccer with fewer players using a smaller ball on a smaller field. Organizers say it should be a great addition to the park, particularly for child athletes. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. I hope you've recovered from that wild and wacky finish in Arizona yesterday afternoon. Grant's a Buffalo Bills fan, as you well know, so he's used to extreme disappointment. Speaking of extreme disappointment, tune in to tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm kidding. I hope I don't disappoint you. We'll have your news, we'll have your sports, we'll have your weather forecast. It's going to be very warm tomorrow. And everything else you need to start your day. You want to do it live, you want to do it local, and that would be this show, Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with yours truly. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll be watching, and yes, I am still disappointed. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
had to pack up all my things. I had to leave my home. And I never knew where I was going next. It felt like I never even had a say. But then you came along.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.